Yo, what's up, everyone? It's Daniel with ReflektAudio.com. Thank you all for tuning in today. I appreciate each and every one of you. Today, I want to go ahead and elaborate a little bit more on how I create one-shots. So without further ado, let's just dive straight on into this. So I recorded some one-shots with my handheld microphone, and I'm going to go ahead and drag these samples into FL here. So bear with me. So now that we have the samples in here, we're basically ready to start processing. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the first file. I'm going to go ahead and right click, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit edit. What that's going to do is bring it up in Edison. Now I'm going to go and just basically start listening back and then slicing and dicing what I like. Now the chopping process is very straightforward. I'll go ahead and make another video on how I process and chop samples, but I'll basically go ahead and show you my workflow here real time. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Alt L, and that's basically going to highlight this portion. That's what this sound sounds like. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is bring it back into its own channel. I'm going to put it at the top here so that way I know. Now basically this is one of my one-shots. Now what we can do is, now I have a folder here. Now let's say this is your drum pack or your one-shot pack. Now I titled this one one-shot demo video just to demonstrate what I'm going to go ahead and do here. Now I'm going to go ahead and right click within this folder and start creating subfolders. So I can go ahead and just put raw, let's say raw one-shots or something to that extent. And then we can go ahead and do another one and maybe do like processed one-shots. Bear with me. You get the idea there. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do is basically export this sound, as it is a decent sound on its own. I'm going to go ahead and essentially export that to the raw folder. And you can just go ahead and title it accordingly. Basically, however you format and title your files, you can go ahead and do that here. So for this one, I'm just going to title it Sound 1. Export it. And to export, I hit on the keyboard Control R, and that allowed me to export the file here. So I'm going to go ahead and continue this process. Now this is one way to go ahead and build a pack. Now I always like to take it a step further. Basically what I did was I went around and I recorded these one shots that you hear here. Now what I like to do is I essentially like to kind of like cut them out, put them into a folder, and then I like to go back and I like to process them. So let me see here. Let me grab just like a few random samples so I can show you what I mean by processing. So let's just go ahead and grab this sample as well. In the same process, I'm going to bring it back in. I'm going to go ahead and export that one as well. Change this one to sound 2. Now let's say these are some of the sounds that we want to blend. I guess we can actually go in there and get another sound. Let's go ahead and get that sound as well. I like that like metallic texture there. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate with these 3 sounds here. Okay, so now that we have those 3 sounds there, what I'm going to go ahead and do is essentially bring them back into the session here. One moment. And those are these 3 at the top right here. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do is basically layer these together. So I'm going to go ahead and just simply and see what we come up with. Now keep in mind, you can go ahead and change the octave in which it's on. You can go ahead and change the velocities. Like, you get my drift there, and processing this part would really be subjective as to what type of sound you were trying to get. But we took those three different elements and started blending them together to create one new one shot. And I do highly recommend this approach. I guess getting a whole bunch of raw audio files, like, you can go around just sampling random shit, hit things, and then get those one shots and slice and dice them together. There's so many ways to approach it. Like, you can go ahead and mess with the envelopes. You can go ahead and put some effects on one or all of them, however you see fit. But that is the general idea of creating the pack. So let's say that this was going to be the sample that we wanted. I'm not really digging that metallic sound too loud like that. It's a pretty cool, unique one shot. So let's say this was going to be the sound that you wanted. Of course, you would maybe do some more processing, whatever you see fit on your end. Then I'm going to go ahead and put it into the process folder. And then I can go ahead and title it whatever I see fit as well. And then export it accordingly. And then if we go back, that sound is there. And it actually sounds decent for, demonstrating. We made a pretty decent sound on this video here. Now, that will be it. It's pretty straightforward. Don't overcomplicate it. I think you should spend more time, getting different unique sounds to blend together. And I think you should spend some time blending them together to see what you can come up with. That is the point that I'm trying to make. If you have any questions, by all means, please feel free to drop them in the comments down below. I will go ahead and do my best to further assist you. If you're not, be sure to give me a follow on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, as I would genuinely appreciate that as well. Come on down to reflektaudio.com and show some support. I appreciate you all tuning in yet again. Y'all have a great day.